Patty Christensen, hand CRPS lady. Last time I was down in St. George, which by the way, I really love it down there. But one of the things is services are a lot cheaper down there because it's a smaller, geriatric community. And so if I'm going to try something, I'm going to try it down there. And they had hyperbaric chamber. And, and with this condition of mine, I've heard that, oxygen and all that kind of, and then you could do a red light. And anyway, so I said, all right, let's give her a go. And it was some kind of a deal. So it hardly cost anything. And I don't have any action video of when I was there for many reasons. I did take some pictures when I was inside the chamber so you drive up and there's a big picture window to this place, and the pods are right there. So like people driving by can see you in your pod. Now, I mean, you're clothed and all that, and they'd have to get right. But anyway, there's no privacy. So there was no way I could really do a video, because right when I got there, I could hear them depressurizing somebody. And so I was like, okay, that's just kind of creepy and weird. But anyway, I was doing okay till I had to read all the warnings that they make you sign. And that had me super freaked out. I was like, okay, I was fine. Now I'm really freaked out. I'm very, very claustrophobic. I didn't realize that because I grew up on a farm. So I didn't realize I was claustrophobic till the first time I went to get an MRI, and I freaked, right? And they yelled at me. They were mean jerks. It was a different hospital than I use now. But anyway, but what they've done is it's clear on top. And so it could be best described as if a casket and a submarine had a tawdry love affair and had a baby. That's kind of what it looks like. But, they've put clear on top, thank goodness, because there's no way I could have done it. And they put a very large countdown clock, so that you can see how much time is going. And then the other thing is they said, you can take your phone in there. And I was like, I can? That won't mess up my phone? And he says, no, the new phones can handle it. Anyway, and then they said, and you must wear clean socks. And I thought that was the most random thing to say. They didn't care about any other article of clothing, but you must wear clean socks. So I was like, dude, what's with the clean socks? And he said, well, this is St. George. A lot of people just wear flip-flops and their feet are filthy and nasty. And so that's our new rule. Okay, so I get in there and they said you can have a cannula as well. And that's pushing, I think he said it was 90%. I don't know. But anyway, a cannula for extra oxygen. So I was like, all right, I'll try that. I'll do everything. So I go in and I lay there. It's kind of awkward to get in and out of. So there's that. But anyway, and then it sucks down, and I was started to get a little panicky because now you really feel like you're in a coffin. But it took about 15 minutes to get from room to 60. There's a gauge he said it's going to go to 60. So I'm kind of watching the gauge, and I have to keep, my ears. And he said, once you get to pressure, you won't have to do that with your ears anymore. And he had given me gum to kind of chew. But, once we got to pressure, then I was fine. And, and it counts down, and we get to the end, and he, turns the thing, and you hear, psh, as the air's, I think, sucking back in or going out. I don't know, one or the other. For me, it felt like it was coming in. Whichever way it was going, ow. It hurt. I'm over here kind of going, and it felt like really, really painful. So we had to slow it down to a lower amount. Once it got, it's kind of like once I got used to it, then it wasn't bad. But then he cranked it a little more, and each time. And there was one time he just had to stop for a few minutes because it was bad. It was very painful. And I don't want to blow out my eardrums. I don't know. I don't scuba. I don't know how any of this stuff works. And so it took probably 10 minutes. Now, remember, it took me 15 minutes to get me up. So 10 minutes to get me down isn't that bad. But I think they want to get you out sooner. And I just said, no, my ears, it was really, really painful. And so he said, well, in the future, take a decongestant because it's congestion. And I said, well, I did come down here from Salt Lake where the air is horrific. It's so nasty. And so I do think I have a lot of congestion because even on the drive back from St. George to Salt Lake, as we're climbing back up, I had to keep doing that. So anyway, so after it was done, and then the red light therapy, it's in a different room, and they tell you to get buck naked, and they give you some little goggly things, and you just basically climb in. Nothing, anyway, you got to kind of climb in because it's fixed. So you kind of got to try to wiggle in there. And then he says, and turn over halfway through. And I was like, how am I going to do it? So I'm like, because it's really narrow. Anyway, so that was nice. And then afterwards I said, okay, so how often do I do this? I was thinking it was like my floats where they'll say, do 1 a month, 2 a month. And he says, no. What you need to do is 10 or 20 of them, but like in rapid succession. I don't know if he meant like once a day, but real close together to get the full effect. And I said, well, you have to understand, I split my time. I'm leaving here in a few days and going back up to Salt Lake for 2 weeks, and then I'll be back down. And so he says, no, then don't do it. Don't do that, because you want to have them all compressed together. But truthfully, as much as it hurt my ears on the end, on the the repressuring, depressuring, whatever it is, the turning the knob, I don't know that I'm going to go again. It's very expensive. But he said people who have done 20 sessions are saying, oh yeah, I can play pickleball again. It's an older community, so these are quite older people, but they swear by it. So I gave it a good go. It was, if you're claustrophobic, that's not a big deal because of it being open and it having that countdown clock. And maybe for other people, the ear thing wouldn't have been as bad, because I do think I might have had, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think I did have some congestion, and that's just what it's going to be because Salt Lake has mountains on both sides, and so we get real bad, they call it inversion. Well, they don't have that down in St. George. It's beautiful, it's clear, it's lovely, but I was still recovering from up here. And so anyway, give it a try if you want. It's kind of expensive. They said do a lot of sessions in a row for maximum effect. If you're claustrophobic, that part won't be bad. But if you've got trouble with your ears, you just got to tell them to really take their time, getting you unpressurized or whatever that is.